Hey guys, welcome back to Raising a Wookie. So today I'm going to be looking at how we plan our home ed timetable for the year. The things I have to take into account. A lot of people have said to me they don't get how I sort of organise everything and lay everything out, and you must have to be really organised and all this kind of thing. So I just want to give you like an insight of what goes into planning everything. So the main thing you'll need is a calendar or a diary. I've got both. I also do a weekly planner, so I can sort of rip a page off and put it in my bag, and then I know exactly what we're doing when that week. My calendar as well, I've got this one here, is a family calendar. So as you can see here, it is our week to view. Everybody's names are on there. We've got birthdays at the end because I'm notoriously bad for forgetting birthdays and not sending cards. So this year I am going to try. Right, so that is that. Okay, so the first thing I do with my calendar is I go through and put down anything that I know we are definitely going to be doing. And if I know our shifts, shift patterns, things like that, they go straight in. Like my mum's going away for a week, so obviously she can't have Hermione, so that's gone in there. Two other things that have gone in there are Hermione in August is going to a home ed camp. It's the Hearts and Minds camp. And it is literally just a week away, a bit like they'd have, I suppose, for brownies and rainbows and that kind of thing. And also our dates for Santa Pod, because we want to do a few of those this year. So I think the ones we're looking at doing are like Big Bang, Bug Jam, the European Finals, and there was a couple of others. But yeah, so I've already penciled them in. And other things obviously to bear in mind are like any days you want to try and do. Like a lot of places, like the National History Museum, for example, got the printout here, but they do, like for Key Stage 1 it's called Destination Space, I believe, or International Space Station. Hang on, it's definitely in here somewhere. Yeah, so it's called Destination Space, and they've also got the Wonder Lab, but I think that's for Key Stage 2, and they have different bits and bobs. They have these running all the time. As a home educator, we can tag on to the end of like, I suppose, like a school trip, and we just pay our bit and sort of go in with them. Or they do have set home ed days through the year. I think there's 3 for home educators, which are allegedly here somewhere. Yeah, so for home educators, Destination Space for Key Stage 1 and It Takes Guts for Key Stage 2 are both on the 6th of January and again on the 21st of April. And then on the 2nd of June, they have got Feel the Force and Destination Space. So that is the History Museum. They've also got the Explorers, Ourselves and Other Animals, which is, I think you have to get, it's more for school groups, but if you want to do it as a home ed group, you have to get a group of people together. I think it was about 10 people, and they basically give them like a little hat and binoculars and a little brochure and everything. They have to go around and spot different things, and so it's that kind of like hands-on learning experience, going around trying to find stuff. Just a quick edit there. I have no idea why I was saying the History Museum. It is actually the Science Museum. But look, everyone, I got a kitty. Meow, 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 meow. Ripley, look at the camera. No. So the other thing we do is, through the year, anyone that knows me knows I do this anyway, even before I had a child. I go through leaflets of places I'd like to go. So, for example, we've got Diggerland, and obviously some of these are now picked up by Hermione. Diggerland isn't actually too far away from us, so that we must do this year. We were saying that last year, but obviously didn't do it. Bodiam Castle. We've looked at this one as well, New Haven Fort. That looks quite good. And then we found for Maidstone Museum, which again isn't far away from us. They've got a lot of hands-on learning experiences. So we've got like going through from the sort of Stone Age right the way through to World War II. They've got different bits on. So that is that. And obviously, generally Maidstone Museum. It's not far away. It's free admission. It's open all year, so it'd be silly not to, really. Thailand Barn is another place we want to go to. Probably not particularly the gallery, because I think Hermione is probably a little bit young for that. But we would like to actually go and have a look around there, because I keep saying we must do, again, not far away from us. This one, it would be absolutely criminal if we don't do, because we are like 10 minutes away from it. Chatham Dockyards. And obviously Mike is really into that kind of thing, so we keep saying we must go. We've lived here for 6 years this year and we've still never made it. So that's that one. This one's up the road from my mum, Crofton Roman Villa. Keep saying I must go there. Last time I went there I was about 6 or 7, so yeah, might as well do that. It's not very big, I don't think, but you know, we can have a little look at Romans and then have a little look around the villa, have a chat about like architecture and stuff like that. She really wanted to do bridges this year as well, and we managed to find a series called Bridges, which focuses on several main, you know, like the Severn Bridge and things like that. And so I'm going to see if any of them are actually sort of suitable for her, or maybe just put them on in the background, because it's amazing the stuff she picks up, even when it's programmes that are clearly like way out of her league, you know, and she still comes out with like, oh, did you know this? And I'm like, oh my God, how have you remembered that? I barely know that. Yeah, so, oh look, I found my Santa Pod leaflet as well. So Santa Pod, let's have a look if I can find these other ones I want to do. So yeah, Big Bang, Bug Jam, Dragstalgia, European Finals. Yeah, no, that probably was it. Yep, no, good with that. Mike has even said he might come to one this year, so that'll be a treat and a half, getting him to stay in a tent. And just to point out, I have bought him a huge family-sized tent that a 6'3" adult allegedly can stand in. I have yet to pitch it, but it is up in the loft, and I really hope it is half decent, because if not, he will kill me. But yeah, so we shall see how that goes. I will come back to you on that one. I'm sure there will be a video to follow. So this, if anyone is around this area, I would highly recommend having a look. It's called The Wheels of Time, and this is it's supported by the South East Museum, so it's like Kent round here basically. But open it up and it has got all the museums. So one part of it is a map, and on it has got the numbers of the museums. I don't know if you can see that. And then inside it tells you which bits they cover. So like one is the Eden Valley Museum. Oh, and also at these, the kids can collect all different badges. So they make up their set of 40, and it's all the Wheels of Time little badges. But yeah, there's like Eden Valley Museum. One's Chiddingstone Castle, is it? Seven Oaks Museum, Guildhall Museum. That one's in Rochester, so we probably will do that first. Fort Amherst, we've been saying we must go to. Royal Engineers, that's always a good one. To the Midway Queen, again, that's something else I've chatted about with her. So that'd be a good one to do. Might really want to do that as well, I think. Maidstone Museum, which is our, like, that's the one I keep saying we must go to as well. But it goes all through these different 40 museums anyway. And see what other ones are like the Sittingbourne Heritage Museum, but there's all different bits at each of these that make up like the Wheels of Time programme, and they've got a website with all the bits that are on, and it was running all last year and I believe running for all of this year. And it's got all the days that it's on, you know, that the museum's open, tells you, you know, when it's a bank holiday or they're closed or whatever. It's all on the website, but it's a really good little, we're going to try and do this year, try and hit all 40. Whether we will or not is another story entirely, but we will give it a go. So, having rambled on with that lot, it is also important to say that obviously we do a lot of life learning and, I want to say autonomous, is that the right word? But we, you know, we try and let Hermione come up with her own things. We maybe try and sort of slide her in a general direction. Like this year, I really want to do space was one thing, and also like the body. So I might get things out or leave books out, or like we've got our skeleton dude over in the corner. you know, and sort of leave things around that she's like, oh, what's this? And then we sit and we have a chat about it, or I get a YouTube video up, or, you know, so like life learning is going on all the time. Everything Hermione has learnt to this point is either taught by myself, my husband, or my mum, or just her day-to-day life, living everything that goes on around her, trips to the supermarket. She did go to a Montessori preschool, which has given her a really good solid foundation. I would highly recommend those. But I mean, on the whole, she picks things up from videos. She does watch a lot of TV, but a lot of it we try and make it so it's like educational but fun programs. Like at the moment, she loves watching Horrible Histories. And she's picked up a few random bits from that, but she'll come out of it randomly. You know, you think she's sitting there playing with her toys, not paying a blind bit of attention, but she'll be like, oh, mummy, did you know the Battle of Hastings was in 1066? And you're like, well, yes, I did, but I did not know that you knew that. You know, random stuff like that. Okay, so never be afraid to adapt, though. To adapt and change, mix things up. I mean, YouTube and Google are my friends. Anything you want to know and you want to put to a child's level, I have found thus far, you can put in how to explain the solar system for kids, how to explain the periodic table to children. What ones have we done? We did this, we did space, how to explain space to children. And that came up with some really good songs, actually. And so did the periodic table, actually. There was some hilarious little songs on that. Not that obviously Hermione's at that level yet. But anything you can think of, there will be a child-led video about it. There will be songs and dances and things they can make fun and learn. And also Google. I mean, if they say to you, oh, I don't know, why does this happen? You know, like, where does snow come from? And you can be like, Google, where does snow come from? And again, or YouTube. I mean, we did a whole day a little while ago about snow, because Hermione said, like, how does snow happen? Like, where does it come from? Does it just fall out the sky? You know, it's like, well, why doesn't it do it all the time? And yeah, we did a whole day looking into why it snows, what kind of conditions are right for snow. We watched a really cute little story, actually, on, again, YouTube. I think it was called The First Snow of Winter. And I actually recognised it from my childhood. I don't know if you guys have sort of will remember it. But it was like a little, I think it was like a water vole and this little duck that gets left behind, and there's a little puffin in it, and their parents have all like flown off for the winter. And and that got us talking about migration as well. But yeah, so, and then Hermione was like, oh, it's so cute. And we ended up watching that half a dozen times. But yeah, it's a really cute little story, actually. So that was nice. So we've done that. What else have we been up to? Yeah, so I can't remember if I've said already, but the other thing to do is obviously as homeschoolers, you want to go through and you want to block out school holidays. You want to cross through those bad boys. I mean, if you want to do stuff in them, that's absolutely fine. They're great for obviously meeting up with any friends that have got children that are in school. You maybe want to pencil in some play dates, but on the whole, for going out and activities, and also a lot of home ed stuff is cheaper or free, apart from when it's school holidays. So, for example, we occasionally go to Planet Ice in Gillingham, and I believe, although don't quote me on this, that they have got a very low home ed rate for families that go term time, but obviously in the holidays, that you have to pay normal prices for, which is quite a high amount. So obviously we would only do that term time. So yeah, where you can, if you put the your school holidays in, you want to then, I mean, unless there's, say, like a specific day that falls on them for like something that you want to do, but I mean, on the whole, most things that you can do in the normal, you know, term time are the same as what you can do school holidays anyway. The only time is if, like, say, what am I trying to say? Like, centres like, say, the History Museum, for example, put on something for the school holidays. That is where you'd then, you know, you'd have to say, well, we really want to do that, so we'll have to just go and brave it, and there'll be hundreds of people, and it'll be manic, and, you know, and that not so much for us, but for a lot of homeschoolers, that is exactly the kind of environment they want to avoid. You know, you want to basically hibernate in the school holidays and come out when there's a lot less noise and children and families everywhere, and, you know, everything's just a bit more of an enjoyable experience. And even things like going, I don't know, for example, to the zoo, you know, you can walk around and actually take your time and look at stuff properly. And, you know, if there's any little bits that are hands-on, you can get much more involved because there isn't a queue of 300 children waiting. You know, it is just a lot more chill. It's nice. Okay, so the other thing you might want to do is to pencil in days that sort of specifically run for home ed families. In the same way that a lot of places have places that run specifically for schools, there are some places or programs or stuff in the home ed community that obviously is running specifically for home ed children. So, you know, you want to make sure you've got any of those in your diary that you want as well. Also, what I've done, which again is not going to be everyone's cup of tea at all, but I want Hermione to have like a really well-rounded, like sort of, not knowledge of religion, but like not try and force her any one way. And then when she's older, whatever she wants to do, whatever she wants to follow, she can kind of go with that. So, I mean, as some of this list I've made is actually nothing to do with religion whatsoever. It's just days through the year that, you know, like Remembrance Sunday or there's Chinese New Year. But I mean, there are other ones on there as well. Like there's Old Befana, which is a cultural thing. The Epiphany, which is obviously Catholic. And then we've got like Ash Wednesday. Then I've chucked in, you know, World Book Day, Passover, Good Friday, Easter Sunday, obviously. And then I've included like Ramadan, like Beltane and Eid, Lammas. I'm just picking some off the list now. This isn't all of them. But there's one, and again, forgive me if I say this wrong, but is it Rosh Hashanah? Which is, I believe that's a Jewish holiday. There's like World Mental Health Day, Samhain, and then I've chucked in like Guy Fawkes, Diwali, and then we've got like Hanukkah and Yule, Christmas, that kind of thing. So it's just a list of days through the year that I want to like have maybe a week or so being like, oh, this is what this is about, or you know, this is why we celebrate this. And you know, like if they've got any friends that are particular cultures or religions, it's nice to be able to say, oh, this is why they're doing this. Like I had a really good friend at school, well, a couple actually, that used to obviously celebrate Eid and follow Ramadan. And it, you know, it was that when you're at school, you're kind of a bit like, oh, okay, they're fasting. Like, it's a religious thing. I kind of get that. But you don't really sort of know the ins and outs of it. So I just thought it'd be quite nice for her to be like, oh, this is why so-and-so does this. And they're the reasons behind it. And this is why they'd want to do that. And, you know, it's just that kind of making it a little bit more, yeah, so she understands it more, really. And it's, like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I found as a kid going into an adult, or like I found as an adult from when I was a kid rather, but you know, that I wish I'd kind of understood more properly at more of an adult level rather than not really getting it, if that makes sense. I mean, a cracking example is death, and a lot of people obviously shield their children from it and talking about it and that, and like I totally get that. And sorry, I'm going totally off on a tangent because this is nothing to do with planning your year, but I mean, we found with Hermione, because obviously we've lost a couple of animals and things like that, that she's quite accepting of it, and it's just like, oh, okay, so you live and then at some point you die, and she doesn't seem bothered by it at all at the moment, which is handy. But I mean, when I was small, I remember vividly my great uncle dying. Well, he had a stroke, but I remember they sort of, you know, shuffled me into the lounge, put on Cinderella and was like, you sit there and not move, basically. And I remember like trying to pause it, and I actually ended up recording a bit over it, which then everyone was like, how did you manage this? And I was like, oh, I don't know. But I like sneaked over to the door and I was looking through the door, the keyhole, and, you know, and I was there like, I could see him being brought down on the stretcher, and you just kind of, you know, like when you're like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or whatever it was, you're kind of like, there was the paramedics and it was all really scary. And then I was trying to like subtly ask what was going on without like making it obvious that I'd been naughty and not done what I was told. And then they still didn't tell me what was going on. And it was only when I think the priest came around the house, and I remember them all sitting there and like discussing it. And again, they'd said, you know, you stay in there and you watch this and blah, blah, blah. And I'd sort of snuck round the corner on my hands and knees trying to find out what was going on, because I knew there was something wrong. Kids aren't stupid. I knew something wasn't right. I knew he probably wasn't coming back, but nobody would tell me why or what was going on. And I do distinctly remember like hearing the priest basically saying about it, they were basically planning the funeral and talking about it all. And like I think it was my mum came out and caught me behind the door and was like, you know, and I burst into tears and was like, well, why did no one tell me? Why didn't no one tell me he died? Like, what does it mean? Is he ever coming back? You know, and it was the first real thing, even though my granddad had died before that, but I was too young to understand then. But, you know, and even then, they wouldn't let me go to the funeral. And I know I've spoken to mum about this since, but it did really upset me. And to this day, like, I remember that being my thing that I was like, oh, if I could go back and do something different, it'd be to like go and say goodbye or go to the funeral or whatever. But anyway, enough of that. That's a bit of a tangent. I'll crack back on with what I was doing before. So other things we're going to possibly look at doing this year. There's something called paw print badges, which actually Hermione might end up doing because she's been accepted for rainbows. So she's going to be doing that. They do something called paw print badges now, I think. And I don't know if it's just a guide thing, but you can do them on your own, basically, as home editors. You can just go on the website. I think it's just pawprintbadges.co.uk or something. But if you put it in Google, it'll come up. And you go on it. We've done 2 already, I think. But you just literally, there's a list of things, and it goes by age group. So I think for Hermione's age group, you have to do 1 thing from each list, which up till now, because obviously we can take our time doing them and we just do whatever really, we've picked all the things that we've liked off each list. So we've ended up doing like quite a wodge of things that really is more of a requirement of quite a lot of older children. But then I suppose where they're doing it around school and that is time constraints and what you can physically manage in a short space of time. So we've done those and they're quite fun, you know, like there's a beach badge. I think one of the ones Hermione did was too cool for school, which is meant to just be like a summer holiday badge, but we did it as like a you're not going to school this year badge. But yeah, you can get all sorts. There's like baking ones, there's ones that are seasonal because they've got like a Christmas badge, and I think there's one about penguins, and they've got like a summer, spring, autumn badge. What else have they got? Oh, they've just got all sorts on there. There's like a zoo badge, and it's all the different challenges, like learning something about them. You know, I mean, for example, one of ours was like the 2 cool for school was like visit a beach, go crabbing, learn about something that lives at the beach. You know, make a cake or something that involves some kind of seaside layout. Build a seaside sculpture. You know, all that kind of thing. So it's like it's all on the topic, but it's all like different stuff. What else? So another thing you can do, just for an idea, have a look through your local, like any pantomimes that are out or what films are coming out for the year, pencil them in. Trying to think what else. I was trying to think of some films that are going to come out this year, but I was going to say Jumanji, but that's just come out and we're still 2019, obviously. Obviously, you want to chuck in a bit of formal learning, but as I say, or as I said before, you know, like learning happens everywhere. You don't need to sit down and be like, right, we are doing this for 5 hours. You know, you kind of learn bits as and when. So I will sit down with Hermione before the end of the year, which is in like 2 days. And, oh, someone's setting off fireworks. Oh, pretty. Anyway, as I was saying, two days' time. So yeah, I'll sit down with her and basically find out what her goals are for the year, and we'll set some like little, you know, she'd like to learn to do this. I think she'd like to learn to read because she is absolutely itching to read a book at the moment. She keeps asking to be read to, but then getting really upset when she can't like recognise the words. But she's getting better. Like she can recognise a lot of sort of 3-4 letter words now. So I think I had something else to show you somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. So like this week, we've got nothing formal on because obviously all the clubs and things are shut down for Christmas and the New Year. So tomorrow I thought we'd have a bash at some fairy making because Auntie all bought her a little kit for her birthday. So I thought we'd have a go at that. And candle making. So that can be our thing for tomorrow. And then obviously we'll chuck in a bit of reading as well. So that can be her little bit of formal learning. Tuesday I was thinking maybe I got her something for Christmas called Geo Patterns, I think it is. And it's basically all the different shapes and then how you make up pictures using the different shapes. And obviously you can use the guide or you can make up your own. And we'll sort of have a chat about the shapes and see what one she knows, what she doesn't know. I mean, she knows like a triangle, a square, a circle, but she's not going to know like a hexagon, an octagon and things like that. So we'll go through that first and then we'll do a bit of Lego structural building as well. And then we're going to have a chat about and watch some videos on New Year and why we have a New Year, you know, why it's not just a continuous stream of days, why it is broken up into years and months and whatever else, which again, I'm sure I'll be able to find on YouTube. In theory, although possibly not accuracy, reality, Daddy should be off on New Year's Day. He should also be off on New Year's Eve, but but yeah, so if he makes it off on New Year's Day, every year we try and do like a little science experiment with her. And I don't know if you remember from last year, we did the volcano erupting in the lounge, which was actually it's now the home ed room. It was the lounge before, but we've changed the layout, so we'll probably be doing it in the home ed room because I don't think Daddy will have a volcano erupting in the lounge. I was thinking maybe something to do with the body this time. Like I've seen when you cut a bottle up and make a pair of lungs and then make them expand and contract. So I thought that might be quite cool, although it's just quite like a messy science experiment. So we'll see. I'll see what I can dig out on what we can do on, you know, in sort of a day and with short notice, and I haven't got much money at the moment. So, you know, depending on ingredients. So yeah, we'll see that. And then Thursday, I'm back at work. Mum's got Hermione, so I'll take up her Kiwi crate. And in fact, I think Mum's got one there that is still in use. So she can finish that off. She can do a bit of reading, a few spellings. And then Friday, the same. So we'll get her to do a little bit of maths. She's got some workbooks, times tables maybe. And then I'm going to try and make her a times table game, which is actually... like, you know, the Guess Who's they've got at the moment in McDonald's. So someone I've seen did it with an actual Guess Who board. They basically cut out the little cards and did, so your questions would be like, do you have the answer to 2 times 4? And then they'd look and see if they've got whatever they think the answer is, so an 8. And do it like that. So yeah, the little one that came from McDonald's, I'm going to try and write on the back of those rather than make a set at the moment, just to see how she gets on with it. So I might give that to Mum and then she can have a go at that. But yeah, I mean, she's quite good with doing maths and that anyway. She quite enjoys it. Like, I just leave the books up there and she's like, yeah, let's do a bit of the workbook. So yeah, and then Saturday, Mum's got her again. There's no ballet and tap this week, so it'll be probably reading some more. I might take some new books up because I think they've read everything that's up there, and doing some spellings. Sunday we might do like a bit of a walk or a bike ride, something like that, have a little chill out. And I must remember to book my MOT, otherwise we will not have a car and I will not be going to work, and then I'll probably get the sack and then we'll be well stuffed. But anyway, so then the next week, for example, when everything starts to resume, so we have got, depending on when Rainbow starts up as well, that'll be on a Tuesday, but we're waiting on what, you know, when that starts basically. So this is now the 6th, Monday the 6th. Me and Mike are both off, so we're going to hopefully take her down to Smith's, have a little peruse of the toys, see if she wants to spend her Christmas money. We're going to do a little bit about the Epiphany and Old Befana. And Old Befana, in case you're wondering, is like an Italian version of, they don't really have Father Christmas. They have more, like, she's a little old lady that brings them treats. Or that would have been like the old tradition. So that we'll have a look at. And then we have got Italian in the afternoon, so we'll go to that. The Tuesday, at the moment as it stands, we haven't got much else on, but we will be going to Dels. And Dels is like their little youth club. It literally ranges as people that take newborn babies all the way up to like teenagers. So we'll be going to that. Wednesday, football's back on, so providing her football boots still fit, I might take her down to football, see if she wants to give that a go again. Gymnastics I don't think is back on because I haven't heard anything, but if it is, we'll be going to that. Then Thursday, she's up at mum's again, so we'll be doing, well, I'll get her to do like Kiwi Crate again and some reading. Friday, the same sort of spelling, math workbook. Saturday, I think Ballet and Tap might be back on, so obviously if that is, she'll be doing that. And Sunday, again, is family time and chill out and do whatever the hell we like. So, on that note, if you have any questions, feel free to either contact me directly if you know me, or if not, leave a comment below. It'd be much appreciated if you could like or subscribe if you fancy seeing any more videos by us. But yeah, I mean, if you want to email me, it's caz4500@hotmail.com. I would really appreciate any sort of questions, things you want to know, or how we do stuff, that kind of thing, just so we can keep the channel alive. I'm also doing a podcast, so I'll do a sort of podcast version of this as well. Well, I hope you all have a lovely new year. I'm sure it probably will be New Year by the time I post this, so Happy New Year. And I hope you guys are all okay and you've all had a lovely Christmas. And look forward to seeing you all again soon. Bye.